Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 476 at scavengerlife.com/forum.
Breaking news, everybody. Only here at scavengerlife.com.
It's like Sesame Street. Puppet news.
Crocs are back in style.
Oh my God. I can't believe. Look, it's just like Birkenstocks. Birkenstocks were cool in the 90s. And then they were so uncool. And now, like, every hipster nerd in New York has Birkenstocks. You're like, what is going on?
Yeah, no, it just shows how styles come in and out. Yeah, the kids these days are wearing the Crocs on their feet.
Which were...
marshmallows on your feet.
And we know why. Because they're comfortable. Yeah, no. Like Birkenstocks.
Like, it's funny. That's like a brand that was, like, middle-aged dads wore them in like bright orange and camo, to go to Walmart, and they look so bad.
You know, whatever. Like, it was only like 10 years ago.
It made you look like you were like the laziest person in the world, and now they're all back in style because we see the kids around our...
I see kids skateboarding in Crocs. Yeah. I'm like, what is going on? So, Bolo.
Yeah.
Bolo.
And last week we were talking about, I think it was last week, we were talking about identifying problems.
Yeah, that was last week. Feels like a year ago.
It's been a long week. I found a problem that I need to identify and to solve for myself.
Oh.
I need to just accept that when I go scavenging, I need to wear glasses. I am nearsighted. No, I'm farsighted.
So nearsighted means you can see stuff nearby? Yeah. Okay.
So I'm fine with driving, walking around. But man, I was in a thrift store this week and I'm like picking stuff up and I just cannot read the labels. I am missing things. I'm either putting things down because I'm just feeling like it's not a good buy, but I can't read the label, or I'm overpaying for things because I'm like, it's junky. I can't read it, but I might as well get it.
Oh, that makes me feel so sad.
Why? Why does it make you feel sad? I mean, I wear glasses like I do right now when I'm reading our outline to do this podcast, or if I'm reading my computer.
Well, what it has to do with is making sure you have glasses in the car, and then when you get out of the car to get them, because you don't wear them all day. Like, look, my mom and dad both have glasses, and they wear their glasses all the time, so they don't forget them.
I need to be one of those guys that has them like around their neck, and it's got the magnet, the like magnet.
I mean, honestly, you kind of oh no.
Is that just a sign I'm getting old? Is that the problem?
You kind of do need to be that person.
But it's just a reality. But that's a good example. I could be like, I'm not going to do that because I
feel old.
I'm like admitting I'm old, or I'm like blah blah blah. So, or just be like, you know what? It's a problem. I'm losing money because I can't read things properly. Just do it.
Look, I think you look cute in glasses.
Yeah. No, I like glasses. You know?
We just need to get you more pairs. And the funny thing is, this is not prescription glasses. These are like those reader glasses you buy at like cheaters. CVS. Yeah.
Cheaters.
I don't know why they're called cheaters. But it's literally +1.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like...
Right.
I mean, it's pretty mild.
Right.
So, you know, that's not that bad. But I think if it helps you...
And you keep saying it's not that bad. I don't think it's bad at all.
I think what I'm saying is it just sounds really extreme, but like right now you're just like, I need a little help reading.
There's a whole group of people that are listening to it who are like, you guys are so... Anyway, okay, so another update is we did some scavenging a month ago, maybe, for a forest cat. We scavenged so we live in kind of like a really wooded area in the country, and it's very common for people to have, I guess, like barn cats, in the country.
Well, what's funny is we live in a neighborhood that's not like, each person has at least 5 acres in a barn. Like, I can see my neighbor's house from here. So there's a few people close to us who have they feed colonies basically of stray cats.
Yeah. I mean, I think colony is
Well, that's what
word.
they're called. I don't
Yeah.
know. Groups.
Yeah.
Smallish
I don't think they have like
groups.
hundreds of cats.
No, but it's...
Anyway, so there was like a little cat that probably was on the edge of our property in a forest.
Yeah.
For about 6 months or so.
Many months. We saw him for months.
And Ryan actually scavenged him.
Yes.
And now he's a part of our house.
So I knew he didn't belong to anyone because he was dirty. He had ear mites. He was not fixed. And he was starving. So he might have been fed by the whatever colony person, group cat person. But I was like, I think I need to go rescue this guy.
And our oldest cat died
a year ago.
So we have room in our house for 3 cats.
Max.
3 cats only. So there you go. We have a new cat.
I got him fixed.
Yep. And
I've been cleaning his ears.
Become part of the family.
He's like, it's really funny because the first night I was able to capture him and feed him and get him into a room by himself. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to keep him away from the other cats for a couple weeks. So he had his own little bedroom. I thought he was going to be super skittish, like scared and run away and not want to get pet. Jay comes in the first morning he's there, and he immediately comes up to Jay and is like purring.
Want to get pet.
I know. He's like so loving, so it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have room in your house for a pet, there are lots of pets that need to get adopted from your local shelters. Or the woods. It's a little bit more difficult getting them from the woods and getting them shots and fixed and into a little carrier so that they can live with you. But, so.
Yeah.
We love them.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to hear my big thought for this week?
Oh, boy. Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
So, sometimes on this podcast, when I talk especially, I try and be very logical and very practical and try and make everything like super simple. Because I just think like, let's just keep all this real simple.
Efficient.
Yeah. So anyone hearing this is like, we were cutting the drama out, all that stuff. I will say though, sometimes when I am like that, just in my normal life, when I try and be that practical, like I can plan my life out, which is kind of our life, life out for the next like 30 years where, I'm like safe and comfortable. I'm like, okay, all these things, but that actually really depresses me in some ways because it makes my life feel like very small. I'm like, okay, I can think of the next 30 years of my life, which is probably about how long I have. And then like, that's it. Like, it feels really depressing that way. And what I was thinking is that what I love and what keeps us excited, keeps me excited, is just all the gray area we create in our lives, Yeah. So like all the projects we continually take on that we complain about, but we do it because I need that in my life, like the coffee shop that we're doing now, this coffee business.
The biggest, honestly, thing we've ever done.
2 years ago, we were like, how do we buy a building on our main street? We've never bought a commercial building before.
Yeah, like,
and we had to like figure out how to get the money and how to buy it. And then like, well, once we bought it, like, how do we fix this thing?
Right. And it's different than residential for sure.
Right. And so we had to learn a lot, and also how do we pay for that? Then it's like, okay, we're fixing this up. What are we going to put in this thing?
What goes in here?
There were different kinds of businesses we were thinking that were going in there, and then we finally settled on a coffee business because it felt...
We always wanted a coffee business. We just didn't know it would go in that building.
Yeah. And so we had to like decide that, well, we can't do it ourselves, so we need help, and we had to find people
who we're
going to partner with that we feel good, and
that was a whole other process.
And now that we're not that close to being done, but
we're much further along.
We're in the end of the race here and getting done, and now the big gray area is like, is anyone going to come? How do we
make them?
We've done this online business. We have online business experience, but we've never run like a brick and mortar business before. So,
well, also a brick and mortar public facing business that's
Sure.
in the retail food industry.
Sure.
What?
Yeah,
My
right.
head just exploded.
but so I like to be practical and logical and just kind of keep things simple, but it needs to be inside of all that gray area that where there's infinite possibilities, because then that's exciting.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? And it's like it's in that creativity where like things feel timeless, and I'm not depressed that my life is going to be over in 30 years.
Well, I think also what helps with projects like these is they are very like concrete and physical. Literally, this building's made out of concrete. And we're hoping to make something that's there after we leave too, leave this earth.
Where are we going?
Leave this dimensional plane. So that's part of it too. Like, we are trying to do things where we're like, this better be standing in 100 years.
Yeah.
And I hope
Right.
that we've made it into something that people will, because I wanted this and had not seen this in many places, where I'm like, oh, this is so special. I'm so glad someone 100 years ago did this.
Right.
It's like, we couldn't, survive without this thing.
Dude, we should totally put like a little...
Dude, did you just...
We should put like a little time capsule in one of these walls
Wow.
that we're doing.
Man, a time capsule from 2020 would be like, here's a face mask.
Right.
Here's a vitamin D tablet. Here, like, I have so many things we could put in there.
Anyway.
I love that idea.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll actually do it, but...
I'm trying to... there's going to be walls downstairs that we're putting up. Oh, we have to do it.
Okay. There you go.
100%
Yeah.
have to do it.
But I guess that was just my big idea, especially for in the early retirement kind of world, where I love it in the sense of these are people who are like, I don't need to work
Right.
at a career job till I'm 65 or older. And then for my retirement, if I just like work a certain number of years, save a certain amount of money, invest it in a certain way, then I live frugal, like my life is done, it's like smooth sailing from then on out, but that can get very just like, kind of like, but then what,
Well,
so.
I mean, it depends on who you are, because a lot of early retirement people are wanting to do that so that they can, like Frugal Woods. They wanted to go homestead and like build a place in Vermont and
Raise a family.
Yeah, so like they were like, we're not working, we don't have to work anymore. We get to do any project we want, any kind of little business, any kind of farming, any kind of, that's creative projects right there, so it just depends on who it is.
Yeah.
It just depends on what you want, and everyone is different.
And I will say too, and I don't mean like coming up with new things to do because I'm afraid to be where I'm at. Because I think that's the other thing we talk about, that there is definitely a kind of person who can just create projects for themselves endlessly because they don't want to face like what's happening right in front of them.
Sure. Yeah.
I love what's happening.
Yeah.
I love what's happening right in front of us.
Some of those people, yes.
But it's the being creative.
Yeah.
And I think, like for us, working on businesses and working on buildings is creative for us because it's like problem solving and like we're scavengers.
But on like a huge, very expensive level, which most people are like, I'd rather just have a hobby.
Yeah.
But but what we like to see is I sound like I'm at like a social marketing place. We like to see impact where I mean, honestly, you're like, how will this impact the community, the marketplace, the whatever? Like that's what I mean. I like to just see what happens when you try those things. Sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes you try something and you're like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Right.
So then you put your effort.
I think to get out of
else.
like the buzzwords. I mean, but in a small town, this is the experiment. If we make a cool place, that is well designed and offers like, a good cup of coffee at a decent price,
Right.
is that going to change
anything?
A small town?
But also,
and I think it will.
It's well run, and
Right.
it's open to everyone, and
Right.
it's a space where people can gather,
Yep.
and that's something we've wanted.
Yep.
So
there you go. Okay, let's talk about eBay.
eBay,
Manage payments.
yeah, fine so far.
So we had, I think I would love to hear from the people that were in managed payments earlier, but like this week, we're still in that first couple of weeks of like everything transitioning, I guess, from like different accounts and all that. And we had like several buyers that couldn't pay with PayPal. Several sellers on the forum said that they had problems paying for shipping labels.
Yeah.
Didn't we have that problem a little bit? It seems fine.
No, I didn't have the shipping label problem,
Okay.
but I did have it was two buyers only,
Right.
thank goodness, who were like, I cannot figure out how to pay for this. And I worked with them. I like went back and forth and was like, try this, I think it's this. And finally they were, I was patient
Right.
with them, of course.
Yep.
So, but I think it's the managed payments where they're like, I'm trying to pay with my PayPal account. And I thought managed payments could take PayPal, so I'm a little bit confused.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just because we just switched over.
Yeah.
But anyway, it seems fine, and we have it set to put money into our savings account every day.
So it is every day.
But then it takes 3 or 4 days. So I guess the thing is, it takes a bit of time to like queue everything up. So we've gotten some payments, and then I think it'll start again on Monday. And then I guess it'll just be every day.
Yeah, because
every business day.
Once the lag time is over, which
Right.
it sounds like it is, and if you made a sale every day, you should
Right.
get a payment.
So, on Monday, we should get a payout, but that money is from like the following
4 days ago.
Yeah, 4 days ago. So
That's fine.
yeah, and I'm going to be interested to see at the end of the month to see if just we don't have a big invoice. Right now I see on our page we do have a small invoice of $95.34. But I think you deduced that is probably from international shipping or from the DHL or FedEx.
Yeah, so there are some labels that don't come out of managed payments like the PayPal labels used to.
Right.
It's like FedEx if you're using any FedEx Ground or whatever or SmartPost, and eBay Send. Mm-hmm. So those are invoiced
and that's
labels.
DHL, right?
That's DHL.
So it's going to be interesting to see at the end of the month if that's the only invoice we have, and if so, I really like that.
I like it. Your fees are just already
that they're just pulling everything out.
Ignorance
being
is bliss.
Paid for.
Ignorance of fees is bliss. I don't want to see my fees.
I'm not ignorant of the fees. I
know you're not.
I just like that it kind of gets taken out when it needs to get taken out rather than get that big payment. But that's just my own thought process.
Yes.
And someone posted on the forum that the post office prices are going to be going up in October.
In air quotes, temporarily.
Right. It's like October to the end of December. Did you check out those pricings? Or
what I saw was most of them were, I think it was everything but first class.
Right.
Is 40 cents.
Right. So is that going to affect?
Oh, FCPS commercial. That is first class. 25 cents. Okay, everything's going up.
Yep.
By either 24 or 40 cents.
Right.
Priority Mail Express commercial. Dude, who uses that? Nobody. $1.50. So
now eBay just automatically just changes the prices, and so those of us that just do calculated don't have to do anything.
Right.
In
shipping. It should automatic. Like eBay should once these go into effect, whenever that is. You said October. Then this will just happen.
Right. But then those people that do free shipping
right.
and you're you're pricing your item to include shipping, then I wonder what people do if they have a big store with free shipping.
There's a bulk editor. You can up your prices in the bulk editor by X amount or a percentage.
Oh, really?
So I'm assuming that's how they would do it if they thought this was enough to do that.
Gotcha.
40 cents is a lot, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it, but yeah, we're in a point where the post office is really, not a good place.
Read the news.
Yeah. With political appointees seeming to want to really kneecap the post office right now, which is definitely not great for those of us that sell on eBay, but also not good for mail-in voting. But
it's also not great for customers because what's happening right now, and we're seeing it, is massive delays, and then customers want refunds. Of course they do.
But I mean, I always say people that complain about the post office, I'm like, man, imagine if there was no post office. So post office is gone, or the post office just becomes like a FedEx company, like purely private. Can you imagine trying to run an online business where you're paying FedEx prices only?
All the time?
Yeah, it'd be or a UPS prices, and I don't even know how that would work for those private companies because FedEx and they often depend on the post office to do the final mile in small communities like we have.
Look, I have had situations because we live in a rural area where I have had FedEx boxes needing to go out, and my FedEx driver, whoever it is that day, will call me and say, I'm not picking up today because I don't have anybody on your route, so it might be a couple days. Has USPS ever done that to me?
Yeah.
No. They get to me every single day.
Yeah, so...
Because that is what they're there for.
And rural voters are often much more conservative, and I always ask anyone who is a rural voter who might be conservative, let's at least agree that we should have the post office still be an established infrastructure for this country, and we need to fund it, so I hope that we do.
Well, let's just think about it in terms of utilities, because electricity was not in rural areas for a long time until the government said, this is like...
It's a subsidized system, right?
So it's the same.
Yeah. So, please, let's try and keep some of our public services working. Okay. Our helper. We've talked about this. We tried a young man to come and take photos for us. How did he go this week, Ryan?
It didn't go. I sort of let him go.
Yep. Yeah, we had just we had tried him out temporarily, and I guess it was his third day. You know, we're like not pushing him. We're just hoping he'll learn. And on the third day, I guess he had been here, two and a half hours. And you checked on our eBay account, and he had taken pictures of 2 things. So, I
mean, you guys who are hearing this, who run eBay stores professionally, know that is insanity.
And he's not writing titles or
he's just taking photos. So I was over here listing stuff from a couple of days ago and just doing stuff. I have other stuff to do while he's taking photos. And I looked at the drafts and I was like, I thought something's wrong.
And then you went over there and then he was saying that the internet was bad or what?
Well, he really wasn't explaining what I said. Is something wrong with the app? But so the other thing too is if something's wrong and you don't tell me and I can't, I need to fix it because I can't pay someone to sit there for 4 hours, literally 4 hours and do nothing.
Right.
So I was like, is something wrong with the app? He's like, well, it was being slow. And I was like, okay, so what's going on? Because I said it's working fine in the house and whatever. I don't know. I honestly, he wasn't doing anything. He was on Facebook. He was listening to podcasts. He wasn't doing anything. That's what it comes down to. And I was just like, I said to him, if something's wrong, you need to tell me, and I cannot afford to have you here for 2.5 hours with 2 things done. Like, I can't afford to pay you.
It's not an office
that.
job where, I don't know, some office jobs, or especially if it's like some internship or something where they're just giving you busy work, or you're just
his other job
there.
is that, because I know where he works.
Right.
So I'm like, this is not what that is.
Okay, so
moving on.
The way that we solved it was our friend has a son who is 16.
Yes, so, he's 16.
Yep, and we are going to be his first job that he ever had.
Yep.
So we're going to try him out, and because we know his father, and
yes, he's a good friend of ours.
A good guy, and his father knows what we do, and so we're going to try him out on Monday. His son. Yep. Have him come over. And
I think he'll be good because I know he's a worker because his dad's a worker.
Yeah. And it's funny because our friend said his son asked them, like, why do they need me to come over and take pictures of just some eBay,
a couple of eBay
stuff
things
in their house? And they were like, no, you don't understand these people. Like, they're selling thousands of items. I still don't think his son really understands. Like,
he hasn't seen our storage yet, but so I was talking to his dad was telling me that story, and I looked at his dad and I was like, you know how many items we have on eBay, right? He's like, how many do you have? And I was like, 8,000. And he visibly was like, yeah. No, I knew it was big, but I didn't realize it was that big.
I mean, even people that come to our podcast who are relatively new and are interested in selling online, you know, our whole thing, our mantra is simply bulk, volume, and so
volume and hold it, buy and hold. So that is what we do.
It's gonna be interesting to see how our new kid does here.
Well, I'm excited because if this is his first job, I honestly feel more comfortable being like, this is what you do. This is how you do it. When you get here, this is what you do. Right. Because I feel like younger people are like shapeable. I feel like the other people
shapeable.
Shape their ideas. Teachable. Because he's in high school, you know. He hasn't graduated. He's not in college. He's not like 30. He doesn't
smoke pot. So
he doesn't smoke pot, which I think was the case for the other person.
Stoner.
I think he was a stoner. Which is
fine.
Look, I've had some of my other helpers have been major stoners, and they still worked well. Yeah. Like, I'm like, I don't have a problem with that. Right. I just need you to do the work, you know? So anyway, yes, I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm happy that we found someone so quickly. Yep. Because we really need it.
This guy right here.
You did that. Guy. And that was it was perfect timing.
I'm always on the...
You're like, we gotta find somebody.
Like, we are about to open this coffee shop sometime in the next X number of months, and my eyes are peeled for people who I think would be
good baristas
who would be friendly, and so we'll see.
Yep, totally.
Okay, how do we do this week?
I think we did really well. Yeah, depending on yesterday's sales.
Your gut reaction would be
high.
We sold 36 items for $1,834. and 5 cents.
Not including shipping.
Not including shipping.
Yesterday we had a lot of high dollar sales, which were like so great.
So we sold less items than a week ago, but we made like a third more, and that's only because the average selling cost was just a lot higher. Like, our average was $51.
I mean,
which is great.
It's so funny because
like $23.
A couple weeks ago, our podcast, we were like, "How do we just sell high dollar items all the time?" And you know, I think the answer is
list them.
Just sell high dollar items, you dummy. Yeah, like. Don't put items in your store that are $13.
Well, yeah, but that's true.
You're like, will people buy them?
Well, it's just, I don't know why this week we happen to be selling stuff for $50, $75, $100, and it's $50.
I mean, those things were in my store.
I don't, some of these things have been in our store for 5 years. So
One of them was 5 years.
Why they're selling now, it's just, I guess that's a thing. Like, yeah. But that's why the model we have works for us, because we're patient.
Yeah.
And we have it up there, and these kind of weeks just happen.
Yeah.
I can't plan for it.
Right.
It's just, but if I don't have it, if we don't have it on eBay, then
no one can buy it.
Then it definitely won't sell.
Yeah.
So a couple of things we sold or didn't. The chair that wasn't, Ryan.
Oh.
We sold a chair, the first sale of the week, we sold for $600.
Full price, no offer.
But did he pay? No,
he never paid.
Yeah, right. So he didn't pay.
Well, because local pickup isn't automatic,
right.
isn't paid.
And he paid, $600. So I was willing to even reach out to him and be like, we'll even ship this
through you
to you. Like we'll eat some of the cost to get it to you, because I want to sell the chair.
Gone.
And he was just like, oh, I bought it by accident. Sorry. So cancel it. So what do? You just cancel it.
That's why when you asked me that question in the podcast a couple of weeks ago, what do you think when you get a high dollar sale? That it was a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a mistake. Yeah. Even when they pay, I'm like, it's probably a mistake. Yeah. And then usually it's not, but
unfortunate. It's just the way of the world.
It's just a bummer.
But we definitely feel people's it's just, number one, I'd like it off our porch. Number two, it's a good amount of money. Okay, things we did sell, which were good. Like we sold our highest item was a bird cage for $250,
which I bought for $1.
It was like a vintage bird.
Yeah, it's vintage.
Is it even a real bird cage? Or
it's real.
Okay, so I could put a bird in it?
Yep, you could put a bird in it.
Okay.
Could I put a bird in it? It's like metal and wood.
I just didn't know if it was like a decoration.
Decor.
Yeah.
It's old. It's antique, so it's real.
What's interesting about this, it was sold to someone in Dubai. So you're going to ship.
You live in Dubai, you got mad money. You're going to pay $100 extra to ship this to you.
Yeah.
Go for it.
When that sold, I was like, this isn't a real sale. And he paid and whatever.
I'm about to ship
We
that
sold
thing.
a necklace for $120.
It's a bracelet.
Oh, it's a bracelet.
Yeah.
For $120. And this is the thing we've had for 5 years.
5
years. Yeah.
I mean, love it.
But
I hope they don't return it.
Takes what it takes.
Yeah.
And then just a lot of other random things. Just
random things priced. I sold a platter for $50. It's Arabia of Finland.
Yeah.
Going to Australia. Look, this is why I love international sales.
Yep.
I'm like,
these
are my people all over the world buying weird
These
stuff.
are my people. Anyone who buys is my people. Right.
Yeah.
They're all my people. Scavenge of the week. Well, because we haven't had a consistent helper, I've been not buying
as much as you want,
because I've been the one that's
there's literally no place to put it. So.
I did stop by that thrift store that I talked about where I couldn't actually read anything. The good thing was it was their bag day. It was $5 for a bag.
It didn't matter. You
so
just throw it in.
I was just kind of grabbing stuff. It didn't really matter, I guess, that I could see it or not.
It looked cool.
I got 2
We're looking
bags,
at the pile
so
right
it was
now.
$10 for 2 bags of stuff.
That's a good price.
I think I got some good stuff.
I like that stuff. I think it's great.
Customer issues, really none specifically other than that canceled sale, which was unfortunate.
Yeah, that stunk.
Things we learned in the forum. Yeah, I mean, mainly people were talking about the post office. And
a lot of post office.
And Ryan made what was this, like a sticker that people can put on their boxes?
Yeah, I laid it out so it goes on a 4x6 thermal label. Like for Zebra or for Rollo. I have a Rollo. Or a Dymo. And there's 4 on the sheet, so you basically just print it out and cut the 4 and you put it on your package. And
it says save
the USPS, vital to our democracy and my small business. Yeah. And if you sell on eBay and you're listening to this podcast, it's important. I have had a lot of messages on Reddit. Actually, I put it on Reddit. And people are like, you shouldn't be political. And I'm like, small businesses like Broad Porch Coffee, who we're about to partner with, they ship all their stuff through the post office because that's the cheapest.
Yeah.
They cannot survive without online sales. Like, they will go away.
Yeah.
So many small businesses will not exist.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just,
I don't know
what
why I have to say it that.
It's such a weird time to be alive when the post office and wearing a mask is political. It's like, I don't know. It's beyond me, like both of those things. Let's get people. We're all in it together. We're all just trying to survive together.
The next 30 years.
Every man for himself is not going to work. Okay, let's go to the question or comments that were sent in.
Okay, you can call our voicemail line. The phone number is 540-407-8486 and leave a message, and the kitty thinks so too. Or you can email us an audio file from your phone. Our email is thescavengerlife@gmail.com.
Hey, Jay and Ryan, fellow scavengers. In the last couple of podcasts, people have kind of mentioned that they felt sorry for PayPal since eBay's moving to manage payments and maybe they're getting cut out of the processing. But I know it's not completely true, but it is a big change. But anyway, there's no reason to feel bad for PayPal. I'm a dyed-in-the-wool capitalist, and I believe in the free market system and everything. But in the most recently completed quarter for PayPal, their profit was $1.53 billion, and for a year ago, at that same quarter, the profit was $823 million. So that's a huge increase in 1 year. It's like an 80% increase in profit. And PayPal mentioned in their statement that they added 21 million new accounts in the most recent quarter, and they're looking at a 20% increase in total payment volume for the year. And over the last quarter, their stock has risen by 49%. So that's a huge increase. So they're doing very well. As a side note, PayPal stated the Venmo they had 60 million active accounts on Venmo, and that was an account with at least one transaction in the past year would be an active account. And they didn't state it, but I Googled and found something that said PayPal has around 227 million accounts. So the pandemic has been really good for PayPal due to all the online shopping, and there's no reason to feel sorry for PayPal. Thanks.
Yeah, I was never.
Jay, probably when I said that, Jay was like, who am I talking to right now? You feel bad for a massive billion-dollar corporation? That makes no sense.
Mega corporation, yeah. And as someone else pointed out on the forum, eBay, PayPal was part of eBay, and just these activist investors are getting eBay to sell off pieces of itself, and PayPal was
one of them.
One of the things they just did the classifieds. They spun that off. I'm sure there's some other things to spin off, but people are they're making money that we just couldn't even imagine.
They own Venmo, and Venmo is
and all we're asking for is just allow us to send mail to each other. Like, just give us that at least, right? So,
okay, yeah. I really didn't want to get into this, but I will, because I wonder what are the higher ups at eBay, PayPal also, because you can ship labels off PayPal, and Amazon. Amazon ships a lot of stuff through the post office, and they ship a lot of stuff through UPS and FedEx that uses the post office as the last mile, like UPS SurePost and whatever they call it.
Let's hope that our corporate overlords protect us and keep the post office working.
eBay,
please,
I want to know.
Protect us.
I want to know. Those CEOs should be having a conversation if they're not. With some senators.
Look, as long as there's no communism, everything's okay. all of this is fine. Mm-hmm. Okay, that is it for this week. We only had that one call.
Can you believe it?
If you have questions or comments, you can call us. Did Jordy give that out?
I did. I can give it again.
Yeah.
Our phone number is 540-407-8486, or you can email us an audio file, thescavengerlife@gmail.com.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm going to read all this other stuff.
You guys, the forum, Scavenger Life forum.
We're here. I hope everyone does well. We're almost through the end of the summertime. It's been a pretty good summer other than all the virus, but other than that, everything's good. Okay, this podcast is ending in 3, 2, 1.
Bye.